So, been having a weird couple days. There's this woman that I know. I kind of like, almost more than friends for a bit there. And then out of nowhere, she just flies right off the handle. I mean, like, saying some crazy shit. Shit that just never would happen. Like, I would never do it. It's not my MO, right? And it's a good thing that I have a pretty good name, I guess, where I'm at right now, Duncan. And, like, I haven't been here long, so, coming into a new area, new people, and being like on the street homeless, it was, people obviously questioned who I was, and me being so clean cut and not a drug addict, I didn't really fit in with a bunch of drug addicts on the street, right? So they're like, what the fuck, who the hell are you, like cop, whatever, right? So it took a minute, and like whatever, just doing my own thing, right? Met this girl, her husband died, things go wrong for her, so I was helping her out with whatever I could here and there. And somebody stole her purse, and I just actually happened to, like, a couple days prior, to buy a purse off this girl that, like, she was boosting, and she's like, I need money, and I was like, well, I can help you out. And, like, I didn't really need a purse, right, obviously, so I just bought one, and just to help the girl out. And then when Teresa, that's her name, this girl that I'm speaking of is Teresa, she she had her purse stolen. I was like, well, coincidentally, and we were kind of more than friends, so it was like, I don't mind giving her a purse. So I give her a purse. A few days go by, and I see her on the street, and I'm like, yo, what's up? How's it going? She's like, hey. And I kind of, like, pull her jacket back a bit, like, just, like, because she was, like, sitting on her knees, and I pulled it back, and I'm like, where's the purse? She just loses it. It comes right unglued. But I mean, to, like, a point of, like, saying, like, I'm stalking her and trying to, like, buy her and with gifts and shit, and it's just, like, meanwhile, like a couple days prior, she definitely wasn't saying that, right? But I was like, whoa, like, that's a little, like, what the fuck? And it just caught me off guard, right? And, like, right away, I clued into, like, what it really was, and I won't get into it, but it just mimicked somebody that I was like, and I saw it right away, and I'm like, whoa. And then, I didn't say much, and then all of a sudden, a couple of guys come up to me on the street, and they're like, yo, there's this big guy, he really wants to talk to you, they're waiting for you, and I'm like, it's like 7 foot dude, I'm like 6'3", like, and I'm not tiny, but this dude was like a pretty big guy. So, and I guess he's like wanting to talk to me. I'm like, all right, let's go see what's up. So I walk up. I'm like, yo, what's going on? I'm that guy you're looking for. And he's just like, Teresa, this and that. And I'm like, Teresa? Like, what the fuck? And she said, like, I was like stalking her, or like just crazy shit. Like, and I mean, like, and I was like, I straight up told this dude, I'm like, look, motherfucker, like, I don't give a shit who you are, and do whatever you gotta do. But, and like, we ended up becoming acquaintances. So he's like, oh, okay, I get it. Because she's got a, history. And I got a history, right? So it's like, they just didn't fit, right? So he's like, oh, okay. She proceeds to, like when she found out that he didn't, he's like, I talked to him, it's all good, kind of thing, right? So she got even more mad, right? Tried to turn, like, the dude that I was living with against me, and, like, just, started going down a road, like, like, fucked up shit. Right? And I just let it go, right? I didn't even, I was like, whatever, if that's what you want to be, that's what you want to be, right? Didn't think much of it after. I was like, shitty. I kind of liked her, right? She, I mean, as far as people go, like, she was a sweetheart, I thought, right? So then, a couple days go by, and then all of a sudden, every single day now, like, this was like a few weeks ago, but now all of a sudden, it's just like out of nowhere, it's like, I'm getting hammered by every guy, like, that come, like, dudes that I don't even know, like, yo, you Blair? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, I'm supposed to light you up right now. I'm like, what? The fuck are you talking about? Like, okay, let's do this, right? Like, I can scrap. Like, fuck, let's go. Right? And he's like, well, and then he starts asking, and the same thing goes by, right? And I tell her, I'm like, and I'm straight up. I'm like, the fuck are you talking about, right? She's going around saying, like, some crazy shit, like, that I'm, like, putting my hands on her, or, like, some whacked out shit, or that I'm creepy. That's what someone she said to me today. But yesterday was this guy saying that, she's saying I put my hands on her, and I'm like, and, like, I see her around once in a while. She don't say a word to me, right? And I'm like, and, like, I pass her. I don't say nothing. I don't even want to bother. Right? Like, I just don't even talk to me. I don't even look at her. I'm just like, whatever. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. Like, you chose your path, right? But it's too far. It's too much, and it's just like, constant. Like, and they're going to, like, everybody that I know. Everybody just talking mad shit, and, like, beyond, just being angry. It's just too much, right? And like, for considering, like, actually this is the person I was nicest to in the whole town. Like, You know, I didn't ask for any of the money back. I didn't, you know, bought her a couple gifts, helped her with a bike, and like, you know, paid for her tires, like just helped save her bike from getting stolen, like just a whole bunch of stuff, just out of the goodness of my heart, right? Just because, you know, she needed help. So like out of all the people here, it's funny because they picked. Well, I'll get to that. It was just surprising that it would be coming from her, right? And it just didn't make a lot of sense because, like, you know, there's angry, but then there's like way too far, way overboard, and like that's what this is. And then I ran into somebody today, and they're like, "Oh yeah, man, she's been hanging out with an HA guy, been picking her up in a white SUV." I'm like, that would actually make sense. That would actually make sense because that's exactly what the fuck they're doing against smear campaign, basically trying to turn everybody against me. And like she's done it before, it ain't nothing new. She's doing it right now. She's doing it to she's done it to my work. She's done it to, you know, just random people. Like, and I'm talking like phoning bosses before I even start my new job, or like emailing bosses before I start my new job, and like just crazy shit. And like I knew she was doing it at the time, right? Or just completely like putting me in jail, like under false charges, like no shit. And I'm talking like multiple times I've gone to jail over this shit, right? And Sheri Wozney, you're a fucking piece of shit. And see, she knows not to send any of the AHA guys around, right? Because then the spiritual protection and karma and all that shit, right? And that's what she's doing. But see, that's how fucking low down fucking skids these people are. They don't mind hurting these people that don't know what's going on, right? Like they're just using anybody in my life, right, to like literally come up against me. But they don't know what they're like. These people that they're sending in, they don't know, right? They just think they're getting paid. Everybody has a price, right? And these drug addicts, they'll take that, like, you know, at a very low cost, considering what's probably going to happen to them. And I'm sure God and the angels are going to understand. But, you know, and I don't mean the Hell's Angels. I mean, you know, the ones backing me, right? So, and Sheri, she can't even come near me, right? And like she's sending me messages through spirit, and like, you know, I know what you are. You're fallen, and like I've seen it, like in other people, right? Like, so like when I say I already know, I know what the fuck you are. You think I'm gonna come back around you? You're out of your mind. You come near me, I break your fucking jaw. But see, like that's the thing. It's really not Sheri, right? And I don't know how she got involved in this. I don't know what the fuck she's done. Like how far, like is there too far? And I'm pretty sure there's too far when you fucking around with that kind of shit. Like I'm talking like Leviathan and Azazel and, you know, some high ranking shit that this chick's messing with, right? Doing spell work, voodoo, puppets, like sending sigils, like sex magic and stuff. Like, and that's what she does, man. Like no joke. Like I even caught her, and like, you know, when we were together, it was like, what the fuck is that on your stomach? And it was like a sigil, right? I didn't know what it was. It just looked like a letter, right, or something. And she's like, "Wait, you can see that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "You're not supposed to be able to see that." And I'm like, "What the fuck is that supposed to mean?" Like, "What do you mean?" Okay, okay. And then she didn't tell me what it was, right? And I clued in down the road, right? And I was like, "Oh, motherfucker!" And like, I'm talking like I even had a crane, like my cross on my chain, and she made me take it off. She's like, "I don't like that. Take that off." And like I didn't know she didn't like it, like the cross. I thought it was just like because it's hanging down, right? And I thought that's what it was. Like, it was just annoying her. But no, she doesn't like the cross, literally. And she made me take it off. That was the same night with the sigil and stuff, right? So like I know what you are, Sheri. I know what you're doing. Like, and I know how fucking dirty and demonic, basically, truly. Like no joke, man. Like, I'm only speaking what I've seen, right? Like, and the thing is, it took me a long time to figure it out, right? Because like, you know, because like at first you're like, well, maybe I'm crazy, or like that can't be. Like, what the fuck, right? Why would she do that, right? But see, that's the thing. She knew prior to me even flying out there. She met me 4 times. Well, I met her 4 times in the last 20 years before I flew out there, and she pretended not to know me. But she already knew who I was. She knew my spiritual inheritance. She knew my ranking. She knew everything. So like this whole narrative she's spinning about, you know, oh, I just did it because you walked away. It's like, no, man, you're a narcissistic, entitled, egotistical fucking sellout piece of shit that's a walking STD that fucks anything that walks. Like, and you'll fuck the lowest, most dirtiest motherfucker, right? Dudes in diapers that are sending pictures to 16-year-old girls. Now, how is that possible? Why is that possible? Maybe because it's a demonic spirit, truly, right? Or whatever the fuck. Demon. No shit. Because, like, how else do you explain? And then you really look into it. Hell's Angels, the serpent, you know, truly, what the fuck these guys worship and use as, like, you know, Hell's Angels fucking, you know, like the royal family with the royal ring and shit, you know? Like, I seen it. I already know. And then you're gonna, like, she set everything up, everything, to sacrifice, actually take my life, murder me, for spiritual inheritance and spiritual ranking and get into the secret society. And, like, you don't believe me? Just look into her brother, John Wozney's death. Now, that was a suicide, right? Out of Fort Saskatchewan. If you look into it, the Ontario Provincial Police, where she just happens to come from, is taking over a suspicious death of somebody in Fort Saskatchewan. Now, why is it called a suspicious death? Right? Maybe so they can get a life insurance? Now, ask who his wife was. Just happens to be the sister to a girl that I was met on a plane 20 years ago that got turned around twice so that I would meet them. And now you're going to tell me that's coincidence? No. Fuck that. Because, like, I already know Steve and Mona Friesen, like, you know how many times these people have tested me? You know how long they've been in the background of my life? Like, motherfucker, I'll tell you, this story is, it's not a story, it's my life. But these people, now, whether you know it or not, see, that's the thing. I ran into somebody the other day, and I start telling, talking about my past, just, bullshitting. And he looks at me, and he's like, who are you talking about? And I kind of, like, I was like, I told him a few things, right? And he just, like, lit up like a Christmas tree. He's like, holy shit. He's like, you're, like, yeah, I'm that guy. He's like, and, like, you could tell, he's like, holy shit, you're that dude. Like, I've heard about you kind of thing, right? And he's like, we didn't know, right? And I'm like, so they know that I'm innocent, right? And that whatever this chick's spinning, because, like, I don't know what she's saying, like, word for word. Like, I can imagine. Plus, I know how she lies. Like, I've even read her mom's text messages telling her, you need to stop lying, kind of thing, right? I've heard her talking about working with dark entities and light entities, how she sees dead people and, spirits and all this shit. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. What the fuck, right? What am I supposed to say to that? Cool, whatever, right? That's your thing. I thought it was a natural gift, and I'm pretty sure it was. Now, I know her gifts are gone. And I know everything that you have sent out, like, is going to go back to you. The truth will come out. It's going to come out. It is out. It already is. Everything you stole, like, and tried to set me up with. And I can give you example after example, time and time again, of, like, the truth. That's all I'm looking for. That's all I ever wanted, right? Now, she's a fallen. She had a life, and then, like, a divine union if she wanted it. And I can even give you an example of how I know this is true.